Hello, selectors, and welcome back to the Life Burst Podcast. I'm
And
Andrew.
I'm Tiffany. Welcome back to the Life First Podcast, a Wecross podcast where we talk about all the Wecross things and only the Wecross
Yes,
things.
mostly the We Cross things.
Only the Wecross
Okay, also
things.
only the We Cross things. I'm just
Only Wecross.
adjusting my camera. I lowered it, so now we're I'm
Do
better
we
in
look like they're the
frame.
same, that we're the same height?
You look a little smaller than me, but that's actual real life
That's
also.
actual
So that's
factual.
factual.
Yeah. All right. So, Andrew, how's your
Yeah.
Wecross week going?
My We Cross week, it's been a couple of We Cross weeks. We're pretty heavily in the Dissona meta now. Dissona
Mm-hmm.
set 12.
Mm-hmm.
It's been good. It's been good. I've been playing a lot of Miko Miko. I really like it. I think we've cracked it, me and my team. So I'm pretty thrilled about that. But you've been playing
I've been
Mel.
playing Mel
How's that been?
because I feel like it. It's actually been fine. Yeah, I like her. I like how she runs. I want to play green. It's very superficial. Like,
Yeah, I know.
that's all I can really say is that
I'll
I like
say,
Mel.
yeah, I'll say this. Green has been the best it's been in a very long time. Perhaps the longest time. The
Perhaps.
last time I felt Green being this above adequate is is set 0-0. That's how long it's
Yeah,
been.
that is how long it's been. Yeah,
um,
yeah. It was never
yeah,
strong, but
Ivy, Emergence, Wallwolf, Bang.
all
These
these things are good.
these four cards make a hell of a difference to that
Mm-hmm.
color right now.
Mm-hmm.
If they weren't subject to only being Dissona, I think Green would be an insane uh, splash color or second color or primary color. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, only Dissona gets them. So it's very much we're living in the green Dissona world, I think.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you guys might be thinking, well, hold on, isn't there a really great blue Dissona? Isn't there a really great black Dissona? Isn't there a really great red Dissona? And the answer is yes, but like all of them run green Dissona.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough to say that the Dissona isn't a green color. It's basically you pick your primary color and then you add green to it.
Yeah, and like green is just a really great support color, but I feel like green's actually gotten a lot of power with the Desona meta.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
like the difference that good green cards make for the Desona set
Mm-hmm.
is like the ratio is like, whoa, green is finally up where everybody else has been at. So it makes a huge difference now that
Yeah,
we actually have those cards. Whereas like when you get Dissona cards that are really good for the other colors, it's kind of like, hey, this is great. But you also have a ton of other
options.
cards to
Yeah.
pick from as well. So, but yeah, Dissona's been a lot of fun.
Now, well, speaking of our favorite cards that we've been playing lately and stuff, we wanted to do a little bit of a fun once for kind of middle season, right? There's nothing really
Yeah.
crazy to talk about that is new in the meta. So we're gonna have a little fun one with this, and our theme is top five for each of us, so top 10. Top
Yeah.
10 main deck cards that we like.
Yeah, so there's a couple rules to this. No cards that would be in your Larig deck
Yeah.
are allowed,
Hmm.
and no guards.
No guards.
But Signies and spells are
I
allowed.
did the guard sheet last time.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a cheap
Yeah,
shot.
yeah, yeah. Guards are probably still the best card in Wingcrest.
They're kind of, yeah, they're like S tier. You can't
but
even deny.
but outside of that, so just so you guys know what we're picking on, this is not one of those podcasts where like here's the top 5 cards currently in the meta. Like we do that enough. You get enough of those kinds of.
Yeah,
This
you
is
can
just
check.
us picking our favorite cards.
Yeah, this is just us picking our favorite cards, whether it's because we like the art, or we like the flavor, or
Yeah, yeah.
we like how it plays, or we like how it interacts with other cards. Like, this is purely just personal preference, and like your opinion is more than welcome to agree to disagree with ours. In fact, leave your top 5
Totally.
main deck cards in the description, or not in the description, in the comment section.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whether the comment section is down below or to the side, or like, I don't even know
Wherever
where it's
YouTube's
supposed, wherever,
yeah.
where the comment
Wait.
section
Do
is
do we
now.
want to do the thing that lights up the button, like and subscribe?
Subscribe.
Look at that. It's creepy. It lit up. Anyways.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. So guys, yeah, I'm gonna pick mine based off of some stuff that's still pretty meta playable, but that's the kind of player I am. I'm always
Yeah.
going to pick something that's playable over something that I just like the art for. There's
Yeah.
a lot of Wecross art I like, and a lot of Wecross art I don't like. But there's a lot of Wecross art I like, and I'm just gonna pick the stuff that I think is playable and I think is fun. So without any further ado, yeah, my
Let's get
first
into it.
yeah my first one is gonna be Bang. So
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It realistically my
oh,
Bang the our dog being defensive.
our dog likes Bang.
Yeah, she's a big fan. So it was between this or Anna Mirage, in my opinion.
Oh,
I like Anna Mirage quite a bit. I
Anna
actually
Mirage
like
is
the
good.
art. But I can't not rep Bang at least once
I
in this video.
mean, I mean, like it just like based off of looks alone, Bang is serving so hard
If
right
looks
now.
could kill, this card could kill Exia.
This card can kill. This card doesn't kill actually.
Yeah, I
It
know.
makes your
It
opponent
makes them.
choose.
You're right. It makes Exia so sad it goes away on its own.
So sad. No, the art for Bang Desona Jade Evil Queen is just so completely awesome.
Yeah, and
It's so kick
it's an
butt.
effect that is unique to green at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, making your opponent choose a Signy non-targeted removal and gets around Exia. This card,
Choose who to sacrifice.
it's funny. Exia was like a 4 of in every deck until this card showed up, and then it's just Exia's stocks have dropped down. Exia's not a bad card yet.
No,
It's still definitely just as good as it used to be.
overall, Exia is still like the top
I know,
five.
but the thing that we kept talking about over and over and over again is the white the Wecross white color killer is green, and we just haven't had good green cards, and finally we have a good green card, and it's impacting the meta pretty hard. This is also, I think, the most expensive card in the set
Actually,
right
yeah,
now.
I think it finally dethroned Exia, and Bang Desona Jade Evil Queen is now
Yeah.
the most expensive card.
I don't know if it should be that price. I wouldn't go that far, but I do really like this card, and it helps that this card's art is insane. And here's my hot take. I know that there's like an ultra rare version of this. I picked this art specific. We picked which art we agreed. I
Oh
like
yeah,
this art better.
these are like art specific as well.
Yeah.
So like we know that there's like alt arts of these things. Like we picked like these specific
Yeah,
arts.
this art is better. The posing is better on this one.
It's just so kick butt.
Yeah.
All right.
And also Shadow level 3 Signy weirdly relevant, the 15k. Oh my god, that body is a good body.
Mm-hmm. It's a good body.
It's tall. It's very tall.
It's pretty tall. Like honestly, it stands up right next to BFF, which is impressive because BFF is buff.
Yeah.
That's really what that stands for.
Okay, so the next one
Moving
here.
on. My number 5 pick is Royal Blue Natural Crystal Brilliance. And I know that I have like spoken on this before, but the reason why this is in my current top 5 list, it is just so incredibly drop dead gorgeous.
It is.
This is some of the most beautiful art that I have seen for Wecross. And the main thing is that like as good as this art looks on the screen right now, it looks even better with its foiling.
Yeah, because it's got that shattered glass or that shattered ice foiling
on
it.
Which really lends itself to all the geometric shapes in this art. And I love the way that this artist colored the jewels. Like they feel like polished. They feel like a polished jewel, which I really, really like. And that's like not easy to do either. Aside from just the fact that very superficially, this is one of the prettiest cards ever. Royal Blue actually has a really great function. It's really great for freeze decks, and the fact that it's like a level 3 that actually does the thing you want it to do, and it looks as good as it does, is why it made it to my top 5 list.
Royal Blue would be the only draw I currently have to like freeze decks. Aside from there's some Desonas now that do some good freeze interaction stuff. But Royal Blue, like the thing that bad freeze decks do is they freeze and enter starve and then don't do anything with that, right? They literally actively do not move the game forward. Royal Blue does, right? It does vanish the Signy if they can't pay the tax, and your freezing does make it so that tax paying is more difficult. So Royal Blue is like one of the few actual freeze cards that I can get behind.
I mean, look at its life burst too. It says freeze target Larig and target Signy on your opponent's field.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
this not only works on the field, it works just as well in your life.
Yeah, if you're ever annoyed by a Miko fan's burst, this is better than Miko fan's burst.
And she looks good doing it.
I do. I would rather it be, I don't know, something else that's down in freeze. To be honest with you, that's still better in my opinion. But freezing an Elrig, especially if you're planning on
Freezing an
going really
Elrig.
long game, is not bad. The freeze deck does, generally speaking, want to go like to turn 8.
Yeah. All right, moving on to our number 4 slots.
I picked a freeze card too as my number 4, even though I completely forgot
It's
it.
ironic.
I kind of forgot that it was freeze until you put Royal Blue down. Number 4, or number 4 for me is Matcha Frappe. A
Matcha
Desona.
Frappe.
Matcha Frappe. Code EAT, because you're gonna eat the Matcha Frappe.
Each a Matcha Frappe. God
Anyways.
bless our green-haired girls.
Yes, sure.
They just want us to be fed.
True. Do you think that green straw is a Starbucks reference? I feel like it is.
It has to be, because I am not aware of anywhere else that you can get a green tea frappuccino or a matcha frappuccino.
What about in Japan?
Probably in Japan it's more easily accessible, but in North America, or at least in the States, like the only place that you can reliably get that would be Starbucks, and Starbucks does have those like solid green biodegradable straws.
And lavender matcha, right? Is that a thing they're doing?
It's so good. This is not a Starbucks.
We are not sponsored by Starbucks.
But
yet.
I would love to be sponsored. I hate to be so basic, but I would love it. Anyways, so let's get into what.
Did you hear about this one creator who was actively saying subscribe to them and you could get added to a random chance to get Starbucks gift cards, and they were sponsored by Starbucks, and Starbucks messaged like what was that tweet popped up, and Starbucks fact checked them and was like, this person is not affiliated with Starbucks in any way.
That's
really dumb and funny.
Anyways.
Okay, so here's why
Matcha Frappe.
Here's why I like this girl. I genuinely do like the art. I just want to point that out. I genuinely
she's cute. She's fun.
The up angle on the like sort of like maid waiter outfit is really cute, but also it like works for like the whole matcha cup thing. If this was straight on, I think it would be less interesting.
Yeah.
Like from posing wise. I really genuinely love the green influence in such a blue card. I that's the thing that I'm always kind of looking at too. I know, surprisingly, guys, we're actually a lot more art focused than you'd think. We like battle stuff here. We do like art a lot too.
Oh, it's got to be good. It's got to be good.
And so what I really like a lot of times is when colored cards break the color that they're associated with, right? Generally speaking, this is one of the reasons why I like white cards and black cards art so much, is because they kind of get a little bit of a rule bend. Red cards need to have red, blue cards need to have blue, green cards need to have blue. Black cards get to have any dark color they want that's on the darker end of any of the color spectrums.
Complemented by whatever color they want.
Right, and white is allowed to get basically like pastel versions of whatever is in the color spectrum. So they're allowed to break the rules a little bit more than the other in terms of card art. So I really genuinely like it when I see a red or a blue or a green card breaking color rules. And the fact that this has so much green in it, and it makes sense because it's a matcha. It's matcha. You drink matcha. Matcha's liquid. We went over this whole thing. Yeah. It works. Is all I'm trying to say. It actually works very well in my opinion, and the green pops very hard against the blue border that's around it.
Yeah.
But complements it. I like that a lot.
I do like it a lot. I like it when card art gets creative with its palette, because like if you're actually looking at this, like the green that's in her hair and also on the straw, the further down you go into the art, like as it's receding into the distance, it actually gets more blue because it's taking on the color of the background.
What is that called? Like atmospheric perspective?
Atmospheric perspective would be one way to do it, but there's also like, there's different like lighting terms that you can use for that as well, where it's like reflective light or light that is projected onto an object from another object.
I see. I
So
see.
if you are in this like big, this is so artsy. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. Like, I'll finish.
No, 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 no. The couple people who are here for art are like thrilled right
I
now.
know, like I'm speaking your language. But because like the background with the windows, it's so blue,
Hmm.
so it's creating that like blue light up against her. And
Hmm.
then like as you can see, like I can't tell if that's her hair or if it's like more matcha swirl, but see how it kind of goes
It's
from
Masha
like green
Swirl.
to blue
Yeah.
right behind the straw.
Hmm.
But even on her outfit, like her hair kind of goes down into like blue tips. And then the bow that's up by her neck is like a nice forest green,
Yeah.
but then the bow below that has a slightly more blue tint. So it's all put together very well.
Agreed. Agreed. Agreed.
Anyways, so what does
Uh,
this card do?
Playable wise, this card's fantastic. So it freezes something, which is good. There are times where that freeze does actually matter a little bit. In a bluer Dissona deck, you often have a hard time struggling with things that are 12k or 15k or 13k.
Mm-hmm.
So the freeze is a nice way to kind of like pause this for later, deal with it for later, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does have that effect. However, these Dissona decks, generally speaking, are so aggressive that they're going to open that lane anyways. One of the things that it does actually really nicely, and this is another side tangent, is that it targets. So you can do stuff that like you get a target out of the way, force your opponent to make a decision, and then you can then go off and do what you need to do with like, let's say an Exia, for example, targeting an Exia, make it choose a lane, and then you kill the other two lanes with no effort. But the main feature of this card is it's discard a card, draw a card. Now
Mm-hmm.
I have become a fan of filtering. Just as I've been playing more and more GPs, more and more competitive events, filtering through your deck to find the right answers is fantastic. Mosh is a great way to do that. Dissona do not have a lot of ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Masha ends up being one of the only ways to do it, and it ends up being very good in that front.
Mm-hmm.
So I've come around to it there. There's going to be something else that has to do with filtering later in my list that's
Okay.
better, but I give it respect for where it wants because it has good art, good utility, and then good filtering. It gets my vote of being number 4.
Yeah, the life burst ain't bad either because when we were talking about Royal Blue, you said that you wanted to like down, and this one will down.
And draws me a card.
Down and freeze and draws a card.
Which I like. Dishonor, generally speaking, don't have great life bursts, so this is a good one.
Yeah.
Tiffany, you got number 4.
All right, so number 4 on my list is Baphomet
The
or
original,
Baphomet. I've heard it both ways. But I like this card a lot. First of all, she's a level 1, and level 1s are like kind of the like secondary staples outside of your guards
Yep.
that like you can play them during any turn, really. You'll always have a spot open for them,
Yeah, basically.
more or less. And I like her because she lands on the field and is a 7,000 pretty much.
Yeah.
Like almost not, like 9 times out of 10, as soon as she hits the field, she's going to be a 7,000.
Any deck,
especially in a black deck.
Yeah, any deck that's playing this card specifically for its effects, yeah, it's a level 1 7,000.
I love her so much. Outside of like the strict utility and also reliability of her.
Yeah.
She's a like. Look at her.
She's a demon, but she's a witch.
She's a demon, but she's a witch, but she's Baphomet. So she's got the whole like, and like I like her hand positions as well. Like it's very reminiscent to Baphomet, which is like the as above, so below.
Yeah.
So she has one hand over here, which is kind of like a lazy like down, and then one hand that's holding her staff, which also looks like she's pointing up.
Yeah.
Which is like a really cool, like like it's based off of the thing that it says it is.
Yeah.
Love a witch hat. I'm always a sucker for that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember gives me very mixed feelings about it, I'll be honest. And she's got the goat horns and everything, and like I like her.
Question about those horns. They aren't goat horns though, right? Technically they're Jacob sheep's horns, right?
They're goat horns.
Because there's 2 sets of them.
Baphomet is specifically goat-headed.
I know, but I'm just saying it's a Jacob sheep, right? That's a Jacob sheep's horn. I know my sheeps.
You know Jacob sheep.
I know Jacob sheeps.
Do you know the difference between a sheep and a goat?
The eye pupils?
No. We'll revisit this at a later time. I actually know a lot about sheep. That's like a fun fact about me. Anyways, but no, like I love that she's got great utility. Her art's really cool. Her alt art is also cool, but I like this one better because of the
I
pose.
agree. I think this posing is stronger,
It's
and
very
you're gonna
strong.
hear that. I think we said it like 8 times already.
It's
This
gonna be a
podcast.
theme.
Posing is important. It's cool to have what you call a hero's pose, which is just like a hero shot, excuse me, which is just like, oh, look at the close up on face and bust
Yeah, this
shot or
is
whatever.
fun.
And that's all fun and dandy, but really pose is where a character like feeling comes out of.
Yeah, like the pose can tell a whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And also just me, because I'm kind of a character design nerd, like a little
Mm-hmm.
bit,
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate when I can see more of the character because I like to appreciate all the little details in their
Yeah, yeah.
costume, you know? So that's why I like this one.
And outside of being a 7K at all points in time, it's also Mills self Mills 3. It's a reliable ability that you'll want at times. So like, yes, are there versions that do the self mill thing well? Yeah, there are other things that do self mill, but this one, it's very simple in its approach. It does the job that you need it to do. So inevitably, it will find ways into your deck if you're a self mill deck at all.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on into my number 3 is Wobblf.
Wawolf, which is not werewolf, and it's also
No,
not waffle.
no, and the fact that it was translated as not werewolf and instead was translated as Wallwolf is funnier to me.
It's really
Like
funny.
it's just funnier to me, and I'm into it. But outside of that, I like I like the green in it. I think the green's really vivid, but the green that's placed against the black and the white is also really cool in this. I'm a sucker for Halloween things. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
Werewolves happen to be Halloween, so I'll take it. And a very good and playable werewolf is something that I'm into. What I will say, and I think this is what Tiffany's looking at right now, this pose is dynamic and cool, but also definitely not humanly possible. I guess we can make the argument that it is not a human, so it could get away with it.
Sure.
But no, it's also just not possible. She's missing a couple ribs.
I mean that and the fact that her spine is rubber. I wish I was that flexible, honestly. That'd be cool.
um,
But then again, you know, she's a
I like that
another human.
the focus of the art really is on the claws. Like they really put a
Mhm.
lot of attention to that claws, and
Yeah.
which makes it just really seems cool with Lancer. It gives me this idea of like ripping the Signy apart to just keep going,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm into.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it is basically the level 1 green that I've been asking for my entire life. Like I have been saying it over and over again. If you give me a level 1 green with Lancer that costs 1 enter, specifically colorless enter, I'm good. I'll use it, and I have used Wallwolf quite a bit. It is basically colorless energy, so you can pick any Dishona thing. So yeah, it's limited to Dishona, but you know what? I don't care. It's very good and very strong.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot of green, especially in the future, are going to have these level 1 Signies that get Lancer, but only if the Signy in front of its level is power 3000 or less or something. Yes,
Or has like some sort of stipulation.
yeah, this is a level 1. Level 1s occasionally can be 5k or 7k or 8k. Well, happens to be there's another card in this set that comes out with this Ano that can give it plus 5k, and it's like natural best friend, so it's still able to Lancer through pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Which
It has the
love.
potential to punch up.
Yeah.
Which I like.
I like that. So
yeah, the color, the green like teal almost is like really, really nice on this.
Yeah, again, it doesn't quite hit the same thing as Matcha does, where it like really bent the colors, but it does just enough to contrast the green on the border that I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, I like it. It's like kind of jewel toned in a way, which is really cool. I was taking a look actually at her. I think they're called pauldrons.
Yeah.
That she's got like a wolf head here, which I didn't notice until like I really like zoomed in, but like that's so kick butt.
Is it like biting into her?
No, I think it's like I think
just
it's
laying.
Yeah, I think it's just like laying on her, which I kind of it's cool. It's
I guess,
really cool. The gold like orange detailing to kind of help.
Yeah, for the claws.
For the claws to like bring out like that kind of contrast against the green is really nice.
I agree. Moving on to your number 3.
My number 3 is Ivy, Dishona Natural Plant. And I like this one. I mean, we're going to talk about the art, but I will touch on her like function. She's a level 2 5000, which is, in my opinion, just slightly underpowered for a level 2.
Yes,
But that's
it is
because,
definitely slightly underpowered.
yeah, but I also am aware that like I like buff level 2s because I need them to be able to hold the line
Sure, you like walls.
between, yeah, between getting a 3-3-1 split or like a 3-3-2
Mm-hmm.
3 split. Like I
Mm-hmm.
need my level 2s to be able to hold the line if I end up with a 3-2-1 split.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it is true. Ivy doesn't have a lot of power to its detriment, but that's because its auto ability is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, so its auto ability is at the beginning of your attack phase if all Signy on your field are Desona, enter charge 1. Which I would say for the most part, if you have any Desona in your deck, you probably just want to do all Desona in
Yeah,
your
very
deck,
likely.
because their effects just go off so much more easier. But being able to just enter charge just because you filled out your field is that's pretty great. It's so helpful.
If you've ever had a game where your turn two is like Firecracker, Ivy,
Mm-hmm.
and you use like I don't know an assist to open up another lane, you're looking at three open lanes, and you enter charge two on the start of your turn. It is disgusting. It's a disgusting turn.
Disgusting. She's disgusting.
Uh,
um Yeah, like it's just so helpful, especially if you're going to be paying a lot for Jasona abilities. Like you either want stuff in your enter,
mm-hmm.
or you just like need something extra. Like this will take care of you at least, and it'll take care of you even if it only lasts one turn.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes all you need is just like one extra enter, so
Mm-hmm.
it's really great. Now let's get into the art. When we were opening up packs for the first time and I saw this art, I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. Like this is it looks so okay. I'm about to show my age. When you would buy manga, they might still do this. I haven't bought manga in a while. But when you would buy manga in like the 90s to like the early 2000s,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the artist would include just like art pages
Yeah.
that had like colored pencil, watercolor, whatever. It was like I know that the illustrator or the creator of Sailor Moon would include those, and like that's what this reminds me of because the colors are so like softly executed
Yeah.
that it feels like almost like watercolor like
Mm-hmm.
or gouache like in a way, which I think is really really pretty. Aside from that, the color balance on this is just stunning.
Yeah.
Like anytime you put green next to purple,
Yeah.
because they're complementary colors, um, yeah. I just,
There.
I just went through a whole lot of colors in my brain.
Purple, orange, green, right? That's it. That's
Those
the
are
three.
secondary colors.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so purple and green just go really well together, especially when you're thinking about like plant life. But what really solidified my love for this card and for the art is when I first looked at this, I thought she was laying down like in a meadow somewhere because the
Mm-hmm.
card art's like only this big. And then when I actually was able to like see it and blow it up, I was like, she's clinging
She's
onto a
clinging onto a
wall
wall because she's Ivy.
because she's Ivy, and it's just so cute. Like I love her expression. I love her outfit. I love how this art has been executed. The glittering fairy lights are like a really fun touch. I just like it.
Yeah, and choosing the brown brick over a red brick
Over red brick, yeah.
is a better choice.
Oh, I
too.
think it's great, especially because the artist chose like the colors of the brick is echoed in the her like jacket and in her gloves.
Mm-hmm.
So she is kind of like trying to like blend
Yeah.
in a way, but like she doesn't, like she stands out. And I think that her little like curly cues in her hair are fun because like that's what Ivy does,
Yeah.
is kind of like curls.
They strangle.
Yeah. Well, you know, they kind of go and they want
Ivy,
to
guys,
grab on
we're making personality. We're like, yeah, wonderful. Ivy's the worst.
It's pretty invasive.
It's so invasive.
It will choke out your other plants. Be very careful. The only thing that I would say, and this isn't a bad thing, it's just an observation. I think that her like giant hair buns are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
To me, they look like hydrangeas.
Yes.
And I don't know if that was on purpose. I'm going to say that it was because it is very echoing of plant life.
Yes.
And at the very least, it's a cool hairstyle. So when I first saw this and I didn't see like the name or anything, I was like, oh, this is clearly a plant.
Yeah.
You know? So I just like it. It's really nice.
Good
It's
work.
really cute. Sorry, I get ranty about art.
Uh,
Hope you guys like that.
Guys, this is our last Dishona. I know we've had quite a few on the list. We like some of this Dishona. But this is the last one. Next
Mhm.
one is my second favorite
This is
card
our number 2
in
spots.
Wecross, which is Wigona.
Oregano.
Yeah. I like Wigona. I just do. I like the design a lot. This is again an example of black being able to cheat in colors.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of red. It's very two-tony, but I am and to be real, you know, it harkens back to my high school punk phases where emo kid wanted to see two-toned a lot. So
Yeah.
it
Red and black.
it has red, black, and white, which is, you know,
That's
cool.
it. That's all you need.
I think it's cute that the tongue is like blue. I don't know why. That's the random color in here.
Yeah.
I like the outfit. I like the horns quite a bit. I don't exactly know how it's a bacteria, but I'll take it.
I don't know. More research is needed.
I'll take it. I think overall I like the fit. I like the hair color. I like the effect a lot, guys. It's I like the ability to discard a black card, not a black Signy, mind you, a black card, so it can be any black card, and give something negative 3,000. That's gonna age well, pretty much no matter what, because level ones are always, generally speaking, gonna be 3,000 powered in this game. So far, we haven't seen that really change. There's times that level one Signies aren't that, and when they aren't, okay, cool, they're walls, and that's what they're meant to do. But yeah, it's other ability. I guess when Nanashi enters the battlefield, you can pay an enter, and if you do, you put this card under that Signy. I think I've done it once in my life, so I always forget that auto even exists on this Signy, because that's not the function of it. This is to open a lane, and I like black cards. I have a affinity for black cards, so this is my favorite black card. So
I also like the art on this one a lot. I think the design is super cute. It's really playful, and it really holds its own in a deck. Good choice.
Tiffany, your second favorite card.
My second pick, or my number 2 pick, is Midoriko Memoria Phantom Queen.
Yes, and again, we picked this art specifically because it has multiple arts.
Yeah.
We like
so art. I picked this art because this art feels like what this card does. And anytime a card does that, this is especially true for like guards. Like anytime a card looks like it's doing what it says it's doing on the card description,
yeah,
automatically a 2 points. 2 points out of 5.
Like, and I'll say it again. Hero pose, hero shot, cool. But give me story. This thing has giant claws, like bones claws. I don't know what that is, but it's my favorite. It's my favorite. I'm glad they put it in there. I don't know what this character does, but I want to know what the character does more now that I see these big flaming hand claws.
And like you can tell that she's controlling it because the claws are in in the poses that she's in. So it makes me feel like she is like that she's like punching up in a way.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at the card and like what it actually does. I'm sure that many of you are already familiar with this card. I know that we've talked about it before. Constant, as long as the Signy is in the center Signy zone, it gets plus 3,000 power, and gains constant. As long as there are 3 or more green cards in your enter zone, the Signy cannot be downed by your opponent's effects. So already, buff,
pretty cool.
Buff and can't be downed.
Hard to interact with.
Tank beyond belief. And then auto, whenever the Signy attacks, if you've used a piece this turn, choose one of your opponent's Signy zones. During your opponent's next turn, your opponent cannot attack with the Signy in that Signy zone. So this is a very commanding card.
Yeah.
It like really rules the board. And it wants to be in the center lane, so it actually wants to be front and center. I just love the Tood. The attitude of this card is just like really, really awesome. And it works really well in like kind of more defensive decks. I think this is your tank.
Yeah, defensive is not exactly where I'd go with it, but it is truly mid-range. If Exia is a card that control specifically wants, this is a card that mid-range specifically wants. Not only and like a lot of the stuff is front-loaded. So like for example, this is a hard to interact with 15k body that's gonna really thrash through your opponent's board. And then when it attacks, it doesn't matter if Bang is on the other side of the field or not, right? Like on their turn. They've already closed down one lane. They're taking 1 less damage no matter what next turn, right? And they are they're making their choice here. So this ends up being kind of exactly, if you look at the defensive to offensive signal, this is like directly in the middle, right? And that is, I think, where mid range wants to be. I think this is a great tool. We're underplaying it right now, but that's because we're in a Desona meta. Once we leave this Desona meta, I could see
This could be
I
making
could
a
see
comeback.
Vidarico making a pretty heavy comeback.
Yeah. So that's why I like her. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.
All right, guys. So my favorite card in Wixoss, I have said it maybe a couple times on stream or on a podcast. I know some people may know this already, but may surprise you what I pick. My favorite card in Wixoss, period, of all time, art and also effects, is Hanyo. I love
Really?
Hanyo.
This is your top. This is your number one.
I know.
Art.
I like the art too.
Oh, okay.
And there's nothing I dislike about Haniel, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You might even think that 2000 power, he's going to say nope, I love that 2000 power. Everything on Haniel is perfect, okay? Here's why. One, white. There's a lot of good white cards. I don't know what to say. If you're playing white, you're probably already in a winning position.
Mm-hmm.
Sans the Desona meta that we've gone into. Level 1. I will always pick a level 1 over a level 3 any day of my favorite cards because level 1s are the backbone of all Wixoss decks. 2. Mm-hmm. It's an angel. I guess it's a relevant tribe. I don't really care that it's an angel, but it's a relevant tribe.
It's one of the more relevant. Yeah, it's one of the more relevant types.
3. That 2000 power. Now you might be thinking, that 2000 power is a liability. There's a lot of things that kill 2000 powers. This is a liability in that front, which you are correct. It is a liability there. But in the decks that really want to run Haniel, these are also decks that potentially want to enter screw the opponent and also get enter back. So by having a lower power, it means they can attack under things, right? Denying the opponent enter, while simultaneously anything that swings in that lane is going to kill it, which means that you get the enter back. So it means that you're winning on that resource. I know, it's strange. That's a crazy thing here. Its life burst is like what, right? Its life burst is look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put one of those Signies into your hand. Cool, and then you put the rest on the bottom, right? 1, that gives you information. Now you know what's on the bottom of your deck, right? And there are situations where you're like, I'm aware of what's on the bottom. It's an Animirage. They're gonna mill me 10. I'm gonna draw my Animirage, and I'm gonna be able to win this game now.
Okay. I thought that you were gonna say that there are cards that let you draw cards from the bottom, and I'm like,
there is one card that lets you do that, but it's a weird one. It's a weird green one.
All right. Anyways.
And then getting a Signy off the top means that you are able to, and being able to put it into play does my favorite thing of interacting with the opponent on the opponent's turn.
Right.
Which I love. So if I'm interacting by blocking something, and then that lane has an enter effect that allows me to then do something else, fantastic. One of my most recent games that I've been playing, I was playing Sachet. I hit a Haniel Life Burst into an Orochimaru, which got me the guard that I needed, and I won the game off of it. It was the stupidest victory I've ever had, and I loved it. And you know what?
And that's when you learn to stop caring and love Haniel.
And Pigeon hit this one. His run to first place GP would have been completely and utterly stopped if he did not hit the Haniel Life Burst into a guard.
True.
And then bought the next turn to win the game. So Haniel Life Burst, I love it. Okay, but we can't discuss Haniel on its main ability. I know. Without its main ability of pay any color enter. It doesn't even have to be white. It's crazy. It's cracked, man. It's cracked. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck.
Haniel is cracked.
Reveal a power level 2, or let's say level 2 or less, put it into your hand, right? Opening game, I want to find level 2s or less because I need to fill out my lanes. Late game, I want to find those cards, right? It has the ability to do even in the decks where I hit the Haniel, I don't find the guard. Cool. That means that my Madoka float is gonna find guards next, right? Because I've dug deeper. 3 is pretty deep, and being able to pick which of the 3 is crazy. There have been games where I hit a Haniel Life Burst to play a Haniel to get a guard off the top, and let me tell you, That feels amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever Eldora burst rush into Haniel
Ooh, yeah.
and then gotten Haniel to get a guard back to your hand and played like a cracker to like
Mm-hmm.
kill something, you are not living until until you've had
That
that
is
magical
true.
Christmas land.
Haniel is one of those rare cards that actually lets you get back a guard actively.
Right, the posing is cool. The like I said, the having blue and purple in the artwork,
Mm-hmm.
while simultaneously having to be the yeah sure it's the lighter version, but it allows you to play put colors that that really help complement the whole artwork is cool. I like the way that the wings are bent in this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cooler way than just putting them just flayed straight out.
Yeah.
And then I don't understand why she's a tornado, but okay.
But
But
okay.
okay, you know what? She's a
Yeah, have
tornado
you
and I'm fine
seen
with
the
it.
full art of Haniel before?
No, I should look at it.
It exists somewhere. She almost looks like, you know, like Aladdin
Yeah,
and Genie, how it like is like that.
yeah.
It I think it, if I remember correctly, it kind of looks like that. Yeah, I don't know why she's a tornado either, but she's also an angel and she doesn't have to play by your rules.
Right. So yeah, and I would say I only did Haniel dirty once in my life, which is I sold a foil Haniel. Which, to be clear, I sold a foil Haniel and then immediately bought 8 more Haniels off of what I got
You
from
just
that
didn't care
foil
about keeping the
Haniel. I
foil.
just wanted more Haniels. I just wanted more. This is also the only like every time people are like, oh yeah, he's playing Miko. That means they have roughly 5 slots that they can do not guards
Mm-hmm.
that aren't Desona. What are those 5 going to be? 3 of them are usually Haniel. It's crazy. I'm an insane person. I wish I could stop. Someone said to help.
Oh my
I
god.
love Haniel. Every time I've played at every GP, at every single GP, I have cut Haniels like 3 or 4 weeks before testing for something, right? And then just slowly been like, oh, actually, if that level 1 was a Haniel, I think I might win this game. And I put Haniels back in, and then every GP I'd play the Haniels, been like, I'm winning these games.
Oh my god. You guys know that meme where it's like, I bet he's thinking about other girls right now. He is. He's
I am
thinking
thinking
about
about
Haniel
Haniel.
specifically.
All right. That's my soapbox moment. Haniel's my favorite card in Wecross. It might be surprising to some.
It is. It's actually surprising to me. All right, moving into my number one slot for my top favorite main deck card currently,
Mhm.
Over Pursuit. It's not a Signy, it's a
That's a
spell.
good one. That's a good one.
Over Pursuit.
It's like
If I can get up on my soapbox for a moment.
Hansel. He's so hot right now. Hansel over pursuit. She's
It's
so hot right now. Over pursuit.
Yeah.
So I should have made that joke about Haniel. Haniel. She's so hot right now. Haniel.
So hot right now. Over Pursuit is the best spell I have ever freaking played.
And if you don't agree, you can fight her. She'll fight you.
I might fight you, actually. Like, I understand that everybody likes, what's that one card that's blue that's been around since, like, set 1?
Random train.
Yeah, I know that everybody likes Random Bad. Which is its original, like, that's not a read, that's
its original Japanese name. No, it's not even a translation. It was Random Bad in Japan.
Yeah, so, Random Drain I know is a very popular choice. Over Pursuit is better. Because Over Pursuit pays you back.
Random Drain pays you back. It gives you back a guard.
I don't care what you say. This is my opinion. No, listen to me. All right, so I've played a lot of like white decks, specifically top Tama player. And Over Pursuit has been like a staple in the decks that we've played, especially for white.
Yeah.
And like there is just like no other like okay, so your Signies will do a lot of like lane clearing for you, but sometimes your opponent's Signy fall in like a weird middle area that you can't quite get.
Yeah.
So like maybe you can't bounce them with a flashcards because it's not 3,000 or less, which is like kind of a low number for a level 2 anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Over Pursuit fixes that. Like any level 1, any target any level 1. Guards,
yeah.
Haniels, I don't know why you would bounce a Honiel, but whatever.
You can. No.
Rebels.
No. Bouncing a Honiel in versus the over pursuit decks is actually a legit move because if I'm spending Enter
Yeah.
on the Honiel and failing to get cards, you're winning that game because you're Enter starving.
Yeah. This will balance any level 1. I don't care that your level 1 is 10,000 or less. It's a level 1.
I don't care if your level 1 has Shadow level 2 or less. It's bounced.
A spell. Exactly. And like, it's just when I would draw an over pursuit, I would know I was gonna be okay. That's like what this card like makes me feel like. Like there's just something so unbelievably reliable. And when you play a lot of white, like in most of the time you will be playing all white on your field, then this just like pays you back. Like it doesn't even matter. Like,
No,
oh, you want to spend 1 enter? Maybe that
it's-
enter you specifically want to put into your trash. That's cool. You just put another one on there.
It's pretty crazy.
It's a buy one get one free.
Between set 8 and set 10, I think you could make the argument to say Over Pursuit was in the top 3 best cards in Wixoss. It was commanding at the time. It worked games around it. People played more level 2s than they've ever played in a format ever.
Yeah.
Just to get around Over Pursuit.
Just to get around Over Pursuit. Because Over Pursuit is such a threat. And like we said several times in this podcast already, your level 1s are part of the backbone of your main deck.
Yeah.
Because you can play them at any turn.
Over Pursuit was
Over Pursuit is like, that's nice, goodbye.
Yeah, Over Pursuit was so good at that point, right? That one of the most common plays you did with Over Pursuit was play a white Signy, pay 1 for Over Pursuit, bounce an opponent's Signy. You didn't get an enter charge off that. You didn't have 3 or more white Signy. You were just like, nope, don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Just
I
still doing
got
the
my
damage.
money's worth out of it. Like the whole enter charge 1 thing is a bonus.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good bonus. And also like let's talk about the art for a second. So this again falls under the category of this art looks like what the card is doing, which is kind of doing like the whole like doo-doo-doo, like Old West like doo-doo,
I guess
with a recorder. No.
Wait,
no,
don't put the gun recorder in your mouth.
No. 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 Can I have my moment, please?
Yeah, you can have your moment.
All right, thank you.
Here, let me get back to you.
So, all right, thank you. Hold on. All right. So, nice pantomiming. No, this looks like those like spaghetti western like standoffs where like you do 10 pace and they should turn around. Boom! That's nice level 1. Boom! It's gone. Like I like it. Anytime I would draw this and I would see Yuka's face, I knew I was gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Very happy, very good, reliable memories associated with this card.
I would wager an argument that people who are fond of Yuka are actually fond of Over Pursuit, and they've just seen Yuka's face a million
so
times.
Many times. It's just like a weird psychology thing that like Yuka is my comfort lyric.
It's like, well, actually, Over Pursuit's your favorite.
Actually, Over Pursuit is your comfort card. Over Pursuit's my comfort card.
That's fair.
It's a comfort card.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Let us know what your comfort card is in the comment section, wherever they decide to put the comment section nowadays.
And without any other further ado, I guess that's the end of this one.
That is the end of our personal top 5 cards currently in the meta. Let us know what your top 5 cards are in the comments. We would love to read them, and let us know why. Like, if it's strictly, like, if it's as superficial as me and you just like something because you think it's pretty, that's totally valid.
If you guys are interested in maybe seeing a version of this where we do, like, L-Ring cards.
Oh, yeah, like L-rigs, pieces, stuff like that. Maybe we'll do one that's just strictly guards if we haven't done that yet. Have we done that yet?
No, but there is starting to be more guards that are like... So we should do a guard tier list.
Let's do a guard tier list.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. And if you guys want to see that, please make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe. You know we love reading all of your comments. And may you always flip a life burst. Preferably